Dubai government is running ahead of any other government and sometimes even faster than what the private sector is able to keep up in terms of digitization. 9.5 customers out of 10 are very happy with the journey and the ease that it offers.
It's not going to happen in one day, and it's a journey that will make Dubai number one. It is a dream that we see the SME able to do business without going through the manual of handling cash.
Look, if there was one thing that I could wish for, it is having the ability to say that if I have a trade license, I should be good to open a bank account.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome to Emirates NBD's podcast series. I have the pleasure of having Ahmed Al-Falasi with me today and Rohit Garg. We're going to be talking about powering business growth, government-bank partnerships, the two sides of the equation, public-private. And we're going to look at particularly how these partnerships are transforming SME banking in the UAE. Maybe actually as a point of intro, because I have illustrious guests, it'd be great to have a little bit of your background. So maybe, Ahmed, can you tell a little bit about your career and what has brought you here today?
Thank you. My name is Ahmed Al-Falasi. I'm the CEO of Dubai Business License Cooperation at the Department of Economy and Tourism. I've been working with the Dubai government for a very long time, mainly in technology, and recently I'm leading the business license department. And yes, in summary.
Thank you very much. Rohit?
Yeah, my name is Rohit Garg and I look after SME banking business for Emirates NBD Group.
Very humble introduction, both of you. Thank you for being here today. So let's talk a little bit about the project and the partnership that you guys have put together in terms of the Dubai Unified License and how it's making the life of our customers simpler, better, and a better overall customer experience. Ahmed, how did this all start? What was the genesis of this Dubai Unified License?
Yeah, this is a good question. It actually started from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum when he announced Dubai Economic Agenda D33. Dubai Unified License is one of the key strategic projects aimed to make Dubai the best business-friendly city in the world. And Dubai Unified License is very simple. It's the business digital identity, similar to individuals who have Emirates ID. Dubai Unified License is the business license digital image.
Fantastic. And I love Dubai has always these very bold ambitions, making Dubai, the best place to start a business. You also have to make that a reality, right? And put that into practice. So Rohit, that's where you come in.
Now, look, I think for us, following His Highness's vision is obviously of paramount importance. And time and again, he's laid out vision for not only Dubai, but I think the entire region to follow. I think Dubai government is running ahead of any other government and sometimes even faster than what the private sector is able to keep up in terms of digitization.
Yes.
Dubai Economic and Tourism Department, DET, is a case in point. I think they started doing this a long time ago, and now with Dubai Unified License, that vision is coming to fruition. Essentially, other than what Excellency already said, it is adding to the fact that it's making customers' life simpler. And the whole philosophy being that in Dubai, if you've got a trade license and you've given your information, most institutions that are in that ecosystem, banks included, will reuse that information and will not bother you for that same information multiple times. That, I think, is one of the biggest pain points that some of the new setups or SMEs face. And that's what DUL is aiming to remedy. And it's becoming successful as time is passing by.
Okay, and like bring that to life a little bit for me. What does a seamless business journey mean? From the DUL perspective, how does that come to life?
Yes, we work very closely with our investor. We have a project called Voice of the Investor, and we have in fact a department even called Ease of Doing Business Department, aims to make sure that we listen to the investor, we identify the things that makes them worry or friction, and we try to mitigate any friction, any challenges that they face through consulting with our strategic partners, with the people involved, and trying to find the right possible combination of workaround and solution.
Okay, and so practically we've implemented this, right, Rohit? This is live. This is ready.
Yes, we were one of the first banks to partner with DET on this initiative. It's live, and adding to what Ahmed said, that and what we see them doing is not just acting as a licensing authority. We are seeing them become from a licensor to a facilitator to actually somebody who's opening doors for SMEs by connecting them to various partners in the ecosystem, right? Which I think is of immense value to somebody who's coming and setting up a business here and is investing in the UAE. To illustrate the point, Dubai Unified License today is basically an attempt on to say that once you've got a trade license, that that identity is now digital, and you can leverage that identity to open a bank account, right? And then they have multiple other partners as well, including insurers and etc. etc. So they are saying that you're just like you have an Emirates ID if you're an individual, you have a digital ID called Dubai Unified License if you have opened up a trade license with Dubai Economic Department. Yeah. For us, we are seeing that there is about a 35% improvement in terms of time taken and ease that the customers face when they use the Dubai Unified License digital onboarding, because we are reusing the data that has already been provided, and it makes it that much faster and simpler for the investor to open a bank account, which is supposed to be relatively complex.
So 35%, that's a huge difference. And so it's almost like what I hear you say is the license is the first step. And then you can build a whole ecosystem of services that are unlocked. I mean, I'm thinking about my Emirates ID and all of the things that are linked to that, right? Yes. And you can unlock just not the bank account, the insurance, and potentially other things.
Yeah,
what's on the roadmap then for DUL?
This is a great question, because through partnership with Emirates Bank, we recognize a lot of potential. And with every strategic partner, there is more potential of product and service that we can ease and make sure it's possible. We are working with Do, we are working with Salat, we are working with Diwa. Now with the same digital that you can activate your water and electricity without visiting Diwa. So it's actually the frictionless optimization is what we care for. We are working with the Ministry of Labor, we are working with Ministry of Economy, we are working with almost every entity that provides service to investors, and we want to make sure they use their expertise. We use our open-minded capabilities to enable them to operate. And data sharing should not be the challenge. We are focusing on making sure that the investor gets what he wants without effort and with ease.
That's fantastic. And have you had a question to both of you, really? Any feedback yet in terms of the corporates, the investors? Like, what's the experience like? Obviously, we've seen great benefits in terms of the 35% you were mentioning. Any sort of nuggets of feedback there?
From our side, we do have a dashboard that shows how many people have opted for digital onboarding. We do see the time it took for them to get a bank activation, and we continue to monitor the SLA, basically our promise to our investor, to ensure that if there is any lengthy process, we jump into and make sure we facilitate it before even the investor calls us for it.
It's not just talking the talk, it's walking the walk, keeping an eye on the promise to the investor. That's awesome.
So for us, we measure Net Promoter Score, NPS, on our journeys very, very carefully and consistently. So we are seeing that on digital onboarding, our NPS is trending up. So 9.5 customers out of 10 are very happy with the journey and the ease that it offers. Yeah, and especially when we see that the time taken and the number of data points that we asked the client and the number of documents that we needed, all coming down. So the timing to apply is much lesser, the number of documents that are requested is much lesser, the number of information fields that they have to fill is much lesser, and hence the NPS is becoming better and better. And truth be told, the biggest measure that we have is DET itself, because they are monitoring it like a hawk. Yeah. So
They're keeping you honest.
they're keeping us honest. They're keeping us on our toes, and I think it's a great partnership.
Yes, that's amazing. And so great to hear that we're already seeing the customer impact this fast, right? It's quite a rare thing to see that. And I think it's very sort of a Dubai and UAE thing for it to happen that quickly. What would be the advice, right, in terms of, what makes a partnership like this tick, right? The bank has, I know, a million different initiatives, a huge backlog, right? The government as well, right? You've got so many problems that you're solving at the same time. So what makes this, particular partnership really successful?
Look, I think it's there are, like you said, there will always be problems that the government will have priority to solve. And the bank will have multiple initiatives. But I think for us, fundamentally, how we onboard new customers is fundamental to everything that we do. And if that experience is great and is facilitated by the government, I think there's no better way to onboard customers. That's one. And second, in terms of success of the initiative, look, it's about how we are reusing the data, which is permission data, by the way. So every piece of data that is being reused or flowing from DET is customer permissioned and re-permissioned again and again. Secondly, yes, the data quality is not 100% as of now. So the process works when the data is right, but the data quality is not 100%. However, with the digital capture of data, this is only going to become better and better and better. And as it becomes better, it acquires a scale and it acquires the ability to get reused in multiple other journeys. Now, because they are building an ecosystem, and it's not just banks, the whole ecosystem will grow manifold because of multiplicity of partnerships and the kind of partners that they have. So it's telecom, it's DIVA, it's utilities, it's banks, etc., etc. So this will then become the norm, and it acquires the size and scale that is required for it to be a reasonably big initiative which is creating impact. And don't forget, like Ahmed said at the beginning, it's part of the D33 agenda. So automatically it assumes immense importance for the whole country.
With the North Star, no, absolutely. And from your perspective, what does this public-private partnership, what makes it work?
It is a recipe of success. To be fair with you, we are working very closely with the private sector to ensure that we understand what they want. To understand it, it doesn't mean you sit in the office and wait for them to come. It means that we have to collaborate, we have to see what works well, we have to fine-tune it as we go. It's not going to happen in one day. It is a journey, and it's a journey that will make Dubai number one. And to achieve it, we have to be listening and engaging with everyone. I would recommend for government entities to relax and focus on the core, and focus on the direction to make Dubai the world best. And you cannot achieve it without alignment jointly to focus on getting things done for the investor. Time is money. It costs them money to do business. We want to be the most efficient and enable them to do business.
That's music to my ears as a small business owner myself. So I love the approach. Maybe taking a different tack. Digitization can be more complex, right? It's very difficult. Digital onboarding is challenging. Maybe throwing the AI grenade in there. Looking at these new technologies, looking at specifically AI. How do you see the digital onboarding journey, or how do you see that impacting this ecosystem that you're talking about for SMEs? Do you see big changes coming up? Because I know it's also an important thing for the government, right? We just announced, I think this week, AI education across all the schools, being an AI first nation. How do you see this in the SME space, onboarding and wider ecosystem?
Great question.
Yeah.
See, Gen AI is a technology which is very, very interesting for us, and very happy to share with you, Sean, that we already did a use case on Gen AI on our digital onboarding last year itself. Now, what's the benefit? I think for us, it's about augmentation. So it's augmenting our efforts to make customer life simple. And to give you specifics, it actually makes sure that 50 data points that the customer needed to enter earlier before we put Gen AI into our journey are no longer needed. So that's a huge improvement, and that gives back a certain amount of time to the client. So it's augmenting our efforts by partnering with DET, DUL, etc. But it's augmenting it further by actually automating and giving us the computing power that we need to extract information and reuse it and generate, new information out of it, which the customers can use to their benefit. So for us, if I were to say what is helping out of GenAI, what's the biggest help that GenAI is giving us? I think it's augmenting our efforts to improve our customer experience.
Awesome. And this is going live. We're launching this, right?
It went live last year.
Amazing. Amazing. We're already seeing the results. Such a fast pace. How are you guys looking at it from a government perspective in terms of, the corporate experience and AI?
Our strategy works in two folds. To support our strategic partner, basically, Dubai Unified License is a subscription API model that engages with any connected partner to ensure that they can drive a smooth AI implementation from their end, enabling banks, for example, to react to change manager, changing a shareholder, changing in activities. Those changes implies action from all the stakeholders to ensure that they engage with the change and see if that's require further action. That's one side, so we enable them. Second, we also have our AI agentic applications. We want to be fast, we want to be correct, we want to implement controls, but in the background in a way that the investor does not feel any challenges. The good ones get filtered, the questions that need to be answered get brought at the right time. And AI is amazing. We have already implemented multiple proof of concepts, but we want to make sure that it is all safe and it's well designed. So we are taking some time to ensure the implementation. We are expecting soon to get AI agents working in the background.
Okay, amazing. And the way I see it, right, which is stunning, is this government platform for innovation, right, connected to all of these different ecosystem partners, one of which is the NBD. Yes, we can apply innovation at the platform level, right, so to enable the different ecosystem players to leverage that. But also on the edge, we're applying this technology right now to make that customer experience simpler. Like you said, time is money, and all in line with this D33 agenda. So maybe thinking a little bit on more of a wish list or future, looking to the future, if you could have, one or two things that you'd want to change, right, in sort of the corporate customer experience, if you had a magic wand or an infinite, bank account or a call center that you could put this to, what would those things be, right? One or two things that you want to fix for the SME owner, the SME customer. Maybe we'll start with.
Yes, we do have a lot of projects in the pipeline.
Okay.
But if you want me to pick one, I'll pick cashless initiative. We are working with Department of Finance, who are leading this initiative across Dubai. It is a dream that we see the SME able to do business without going through the manual of handling cash. And I know many companies are cashless already, but to be 100% cashless city, it is a challenge. And it's a challenge because we have to make sure that the services, the fintechs in the market are able to provide across all the spectrum of type of customers and to satisfy every single level of it. It is a challenge, but it is an amazing project if we're able to achieve it.
Right, a cashless Dubai or a cashless SME Dubai in the next couple of years. All right, we'll come back to this podcast next year and see how we're doing.
Absolutely.
What about you, Rohit?
Look, if there was one thing that I could wish for, it is having the ability to say that if I have a trade license, I should be good to open a bank account. One of the most difficult things for us is that when we get new investors into Dubai coming to us with an issued trade license, and we have to ask them more questions. So we would like to see due diligence getting unified between trade licensing authorities, ourselves, and other institutions to say that if you are allowed to open a business, you should be allowed to open a bank account as well.
Default. Yes, that is a very nice wish to leave this conversation on. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. That's it. That's a wrap for the podcast. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.